class warfare the only resort to right-wing doom? It's Worth It, How to Talk to Your Right-Wing Relatives, Friends, and Neighbors, and other books written by Egberto Willis. Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willis, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. Good morning to the United States of America. Good morning to the entire world receiving our signal via the magic of El Internet. Folks, we're going to have a great program for you today. You know what? Before we get started, however, let's go ahead and go to the studio where we have, of course, Howard Reynolds and Jack Van Bever. Good morning, guys. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning, Egberto. How are you?
I am doing fine, my friend. Talk to me.
Well, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties getting the Zoom links up, but another day at the radio. Here's going to be my word for the day. Our super rich have become spoiled rotten. They have become so rich under neoliberal economic policies that now they think they don't need to take care of the people or pay their fair share of taxes. This is capitalism devouring all, including itself. To take a tax cut and know that it hurts, even kills people, takes a special kind of selfishness. We must find a way to retask our oligarchs.
And it starts with us. It starts with us realizing that we are, in fact, empowered to do these things. But again, what can I say? We have a little bit of a feedback that we probably should work on as the show goes on, folks. But you know what we say? We never ever stop. But today is it's Thursday. Aquino is back with us again. El Señor Neil Aquino, founder of the Houston Democracy Project, with us. So I want to welcome Neil. Neil, how you doing this morning, my brother?
I'm doing all right. I was out visiting my in-laws last week. I visited Joliet, Illinois, where some of the Blue Brothers, made famous by the Blue Brothers movie, just outside of Chicago. And let me tell you that it is Latino immigrants sustaining Joliet, Illinois. There were Mexican flags and flags of all sorts of countries. Latin American countries all over Joliet, where the famous prison is. And immigrants are everywhere and needed and sustained, even in the heartland of the nation.
Well, that is great. That is actually great. I want to go ahead and welcome Melanie Keelan from Barcelona, Spain, is in the house with us. Melanie, yeah, we're having a little bit of audio issues. That's why it sounds kind of tinny. And we are also getting some sort of a feedback. Probably work with the studio and try to see what's going on there as we go along. Anyway, welcome Lee the Bearcat from Austin, Texas. Let's see, what else have we got here? MX XS is in the house from Substack, as well as Kat, Richard Smith, and of course I missed the first few that came in because of how the system worked. But let me ask the studio if we have Elise with us yet, and if we do, we'll go ahead and start with Elise before we get busy with the program.
Hey, good morning, Egberto. Are you doing okay today?
Good morning, Elise. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. There's so much news to get to, and I know that there's tons of stuff you want to talk about this morning, so I will just quickly remind everyone that we are still in pledge drive. We're trying to wrap things up. We're a little more than $40,000 away from our overall goal of $170,000. We've come a long way together. We thank you so much if you've already taken the time to make yourself a part of KPFT with your financial pledge of support. If you haven't been able to do that yet, we ask you to please please consider doing that this morning with this show, with Politics Done Right. Egberto Willies is here each and every weekday from 6 a.m. until 7 a.m., and he has a fresh show, and he's got a take and a viewpoint that is important to be able to have a platform for, and he also keeps the platform open for you because, of course, it's your radio station. We're your community radio station. So to support these types of programs, which are so important right now, it's easy to do. You just go online at kpft.org, click the donate button, and you can quickly decide what level you are comfortable with donating to the radio station. Select a thank you gift. Maybe you'd like to have a Politics Done Right t-shirt for a $100 donation, or maybe even a private audience with Coffee with Egberto. That's a $250 donation. Anything that you can supply to KPFT in the way of financial support helps us stay commercial free and listener sponsored and helps us to reach our goal. 713-526-5738, option 1 to make your financial pledge of support, or kpft.org. And I'll talk more later about sustaining memberships and how they help the station as we get into the show. Thanks, Egberto.
Thank you so kindly, Elise. Thank you so kindly. Lisa Blair from Atlanta, Georgia is in the house with us as well. So let's see. And coming in, we have Claudette Newhall, Todd Golden, Ellen Me. Muchas gracias por estar aquí. Thank you so kindly for being here. Anyway, Neil, I know you have a lot to talk about, but there is something that that you told me that occurred at the LGBT caucus sometime this week that you attended, that I really want you to articulate, because I think whenever we have politicians that not only say the right thing, but we see with the work that they're doing, they're actually in support of the people, in support of our Constitution, and ensuring that, in effect, the people did the right thing as they elected them. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. This was at last night's Houston LGBTQ Political Caucus meeting, which takes place once a month. And they have a different guest and each month. And the guest this month was District Attorney Sean Tier. And so Sean Tier spoke about a variety of issues and ways that he's cleaned up the office since Kim Ogg left, and a lot of improvements. But there are just some very short quotes that really struck me. He said that at the moment, there was a climate of hate, that the current political moment was reminiscent of the early 30s. He said they're literally banning books. And he said, I'm not going to participate in whatever Reichstag fire they create. And I was really appreciative of hearing an elected official, very important elected official like the district attorney of our giant county, just directly acknowledging the political and societal situation that we are in. Not just opposition, but a clear reference to the prospect of authoritarianism. And he also said, I'm going to follow the law. Said there wasn't a blank check. It wasn't a blank check to do something illegal. I'm going to follow the law. But the specific comment that I'm not going to participate in whatever Reichstag fire they create it was very heartening for me to hear that from a senior elected official in Harris County.
I think that is so important. As I mentioned to you off air, it is very disappointing to see our leaders both in Washington, and I'll call names. I'm very disappointed in Hakeem Jeffries. I'm very disappointed in Chuck Schumer. I'm very disappointed in the mayor of Houston. I'm very disappointed in their stance on this issue, in their inability to come out there and challenge the attack on the citizens of the United States with a fascist president that we currently have. And for a district attorney to come out there and simply say, I am not going to be a part. I am the law. I execute the law, or not execute, but I challenge the law here in Texas, and I will not be a part of that team. I think we need to make sure to give kudos, and for the listeners that are out there, you should give the department a call and say, good job. That's what we want. out there. That is who we want doing that kind of representation. This isn't a political. This is not a political statement that the guy made. That was a statement, a constitutional statement that the guy made. And if we had more politicians issuing constitutional statements in a climate where we have a thug running the executive, it would be much better for society at large. Thank you for pointing that out, Neil. Like we say, Neil from the Houston Democracy Project is out there around town, around the county, you know, watching what all our politicians are doing. Thank you for that, Neil. Anyway, Neil, what else do you have? Marge KJ, welcome aboard, as well as Randall Baxley. Randall says the system is zero sum, and those of us able to gather more than our needs will hopefully become aware of many things we do that end up killing us. Very good point, Randall Baxley. All right, Neil, talk to me.
Well, I wanted to note also, yesterday was the 36th anniversary of the Tiananmen Square massacre, and I know that was an important event for me. I guess I was 21 when it happened. I think I was actually watching Dallas. It was a Friday night, and I was hanging out with some friends. I think there was some beer around. Um, I was watching Dallas. We probably, and the news came out. There was extensive coverage back. We're all old enough to remember when a special report was a big deal. So it's the 36th anniversary. When I was at the Statue of Liberty this past April, they have a picture actually at the display area of the folks at Tiananmen Square with a representation, with a mock-up of the Statue of Liberty. Imagine doing that now under Trump. And I've been and make it sure makes you sad where we're at. There's two questions that I've been asking about civil rights that are local. And you remember that Trump wanted to use the military during the George Floyd protest. It can happen here. It can happen here. It can happen here. I've been asking, with HPD cooperating with ICE, and HPD is cooperating with ICE. Egberto and I were talking about TikTok a little bit earlier. You can see the videos in Minneapolis and San Diego where the people were not happy about ICE being present. What is the process to make sure that HPD, that Houstonians interacting with ICE and HPD will receive due process and not be sent or disappeared to places like the El Salvador torture prison? I mean, that's happening, and there's no guarantee of due process. So whether you're undocumented, legally here, or a citizen, what are the protections? And then also, if and when the Trump administration moves forward with threats to civil liberties like the suspension of habeas corpus, will HPD resources be used to assist Trump? And I'm going to tell you, when I say HPD resources, they got all the resources, okay? They just got a giant new contract, 30-something% raise over 3 years. 60% of our city budget, which is something we talk about today, goes to police and fire. 60% of the police budget goes to police and fire. And there are no protections that HPD won't cooperate, enforce, make worse, use all our money up, use overtime to suspend our rights. So I think it's important that we be asking these questions and that we press our city council on the matter.
That is so important. That is so important, my friend. What other subject do we have to cover today?
So yesterday, now you may have seen this, we passed our city budget, $7 billion budget. Like I said, 60% to police and fire. The only other increase really is to the solid waste department, which just got a minor increase. So the neighborhood department, parks, libraries, all of these things cut. The budget is not well balanced or funded for the future. We dug into our city rainy day fund. The mayor, there were no fee or tax increases. There actually should be fee or tax increases. We've actually covered that here before on the Houston Democracy Project Hour, where some council members are calling for it. And you may see that there was a protest yesterday at the budget. A group called the Northeast Action Collective, a coalition of neighborhoods in Houston was there. They chanted. They had a banner. And what was frustrating is that they cleared the entire council chamber. So there were some folks protesting, but they cleared everyone, whether they were protesting or not. So who's in charge of the chamber? Is it the mayor and council, or is it HPD? But there are stories out there. If you want to read more specifics about the budget, it's a little bit off my mission on specifically democracy issues. But the budget is depressing, and there's a story in the Chronicle about pension reform, quote unquote pension reform, and it's related to this because the legislature, it's on Governor Abbott's desk. The police and fire pensions, they want to make it again where you can retire after 20 years, so you can be in your mid 40s and get a pension. And they want to make it where you can retire but somehow still stay on the payroll and grow your pension. For police and fire, increasing the pension liabilities. If you remember, it was a big deal when Mayor Turner. The upshot of what I'm telling you is the police and fire unions don't care if we're bankrupt. This is the upshot. They know we're broke. Okay, they know that the FEMA money isn't coming. They know that all this money isn't coming, and they are after every dollar. That's where I'm going a little bit with this. They are after every dollar. And those police and fire unions, while everyone else takes a hit. And with the next storm or flood, there's no guarantee of any federal assistance. But they're after every dollar.
I want to get in there because I mean, I don't know if you saw well, I think you did see the interview that I did with our honorable Judge Lina Hidalgo,
Yeah.
and Lina Hidalgo pointed out that she wants to have parity with the
Right.
sheriff department and the Houston police department, but all this stuff needs to be paid for. And as a responsible person, she was very disappointed in Garcia and Briones, who voted along. She said it almost seems like there is a mini Trump faction made up of two Democrats and a Republican on Commissioner's Court because they're behaving as irresponsible as is the President of the United States. She said, we want to pay them, but let the people decide. I can't go ahead and give $140 million raise and cut libraries and cut everything else to pay these guys, which they are important, but the library is important. Keeping the streets open is important. Healthcare is important. All these things are important. So instead of just saying, let's give all this money to the cops and the fire, well, in her case, just the cops, we have to go in front of the people in the county and say, hey, look, this is where we are at. This is what the budget looks like. Uh, if we want to pay these guys, maybe we need to bring more revenue in. And if you, the people, don't want more revenue, and you definitely want us to pay these salaries, then we're going to have to cut elsewhere. Where do you want us to cut?
Let me tell you. Let's place some of the blame with the Harris County, with the AFL-CIO, the Harris County local AFL-CIO. They deserve some blame here. They elected Whitmire. They helped elect Whitmire. Sylvia Garcia, Carol Alvarado. They helped elect Whitmire. The firefighters wanted this money. They were in this kind of Moby Dick, Ahab kind of feud. The firefighters and Mayor Turner. When the negotiations took place for the firefighters contract, there was clear discussion. This was last year. Hey, this means we've got the money for the police contract, right? And so the firefighters are AFL-CIO. The police, they're hardly even. They call themselves a union. They're not. They would bust your union in a second.
They're Gestapo, but go ahead, yeah.
They're union, and they knew what they were doing. That the first the firefighters get it, then the police get it, and then the minute that HPD got their raise, the head of the police union, the Houston Police Officers Union, was with the sheriff deputies union, asking for their raise. So everyone everything's being cut. The Trump bill, the city finances, which they know all of this austerity, except for the public safety forces, who are taking every dollar they can get, as everything else is cut.
And Neil, I want you to reiterate 60%. You went to the budget meeting. 60% of all the $7 billion expenditure of Houston, Texas. And for those that are in our national audience, this is something that you will see replicated throughout
Yep.
the country.
Yep.
This is something you'll see replicated throughout the country. We're becoming becoming a, what kind of state do you call that, Neil? A security state.
I mean, a security state, a surveillance state, a police state. And in Texas, by law, because the police unions went and circumvented their municipal governments, by law, you can't reduce police budgets. By law, you can't. So we are stuck as taxpayers until some distant day when they undo that. There's a prospect someday it'll be undone. But we are stuck paying. We cannot reduce that police budget. So we are stuck with that money. And while we are cutting, they are cutting parks, libraries, every department except a small increase for solid waste, and it's a small increase, is taking a hit. And we are all the needs in this city, and this doesn't even mention they greatly underestimate the amount of overtime that city employees will be making. They greatly underestimate the amount of overtime. Chris Hollins has said this. Just so you get a storm, you get a civil disturbance, all very possible things. And I'll tell you, the police and fire, they're getting paid. But if you want your park, the lawn mowed, they've lessened the cycle by which they come and mow the lawn, mow the grass at your park.
Infrastructure damage, water delivery damage, all these things are not taken into account. But the police and firemen, 60% of the budget
It's
paid for that.
depressing.
Okay,
It sure is depressing. I've lived here for 27 years, and
I need to
I talk
raise.
up this city, but boy.
We'll continue talking. I just need to
Right.
raise a little bit of money here, folks. Right now, politics done right is at zero. We're still in fund drive mode, and as Elise eloquently said, we still have about 40 something thousand dollars to raise, and we'd love to finish up this fund drive as fast as possible. And only you all can solve the problem. Only you know the value of what we're doing. So I'm asking you so kindly to please give us a call at 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to donate, or go to kpft.org. I think Elise is still with us. Let's go ahead and bring Elise into the discussion. Elise, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm glad that we're not talking about KPFT's budget, though, being in the billions of dollars. My goodness, like that would be quite daunting to look at that number. But we have a very modest goal, I would say now. We've been chipping away at that $170,000 goal for the spring funds drive, and we've whittled it down together. We've gotten it down to, like you said, just around $40,000 or so. So doable. We can knock that out. I would love to get that knocked out this week. That way we can start next week and be completely finished with funds drive and be funded for KPFT. And we were talking about percentages of what percent of the budget goes to where. When you're talking about Harris County and Houston, 100% of the budget at KPFT stays right here in Houston. We only have one full-time employee. Everyone else is pretty much volunteer at our radio station. And it's pretty amazing when you think about it, that volunteer power allows us to bring you this incredible programming each and every weekday. It's because of your support. We appreciate you finding us. Thank you so much for tuning in across the world. We're asking for a $5 a month donation to KPFT. That means $60 a year out of your pocket actually means $110 for KPFT. How does that work? Let me tell you, $5 a month makes you a sustaining member of KPFT. That means you're sustaining this station each and every month. And I know $5 doesn't sound like a ton of money, right? We all have $5, hopefully $5. And once the station gets that commitment from you that yes, we can count on $5 a month from you for an entire year, an anonymous benefactor has generously offered to put down an extra $50 on top of each and every monthly pledge that we get. So that means that your $5 a month pledge, $60 a year, averages out to $110 for KPFT. That's more than doubling almost your impact to this radio station. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. I hope that what you're listening to is something that's valuable to you. I don't know why you would be here if it wasn't. We understand your attention, your time is so valuable. We take great care to make sure that it's worth it for you. We produce the best programming we can, and this is one of those shows that you're here to listen to. $5 a month, 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. Together, let's knock out that goal and get back to regular programming. And let's do that now with you, Edberto, and Politics Done Right.
Thank you so kindly, Elise. But yes, folks, we have to raise $500 this morning, and we are at the grand quantity of zero. So please go ahead and, if you will, call us now, 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or go to kpft.org, hit that donate button. Please be sure to tell them if you call in that it's for Politics Done Right. And by the way, all the money goes to KPFT, not to me at all, to KPFT. And likewise, if you go to kpft.org, when you select your gift and you get the drop down for the program you're supporting, please point out it's for Politics Done Right. It is very important that we get these monies in to keep free radio, commercial-free radio that's out here telling the truth online. Let's see. Richard Smith says, could all this be a moment for reflection that may well result in the people regaining our authority as FDR had recognized decades ago? Richard Smith, I love that statement because I think that is where we can be if we choose to be. That is very, very important. Randall Baxley says, how many times must we repeat 60%? As many times as necessary to let people in Houston understand that their taxes are going straight into a police state. That's how much. If your budget is going mostly to cops, firemen, we need to have well-paid firemen. They put their bodies at big risk, but there are a lot of other things that are of importance. Maybe we need to cut quite a few police officers and put more psychologists in there, because a lot of things that these guys go and try to solve really require a psychologist and not a cop with a gun. But anyway, that is for another discussion. Let's see. I think I have some more people to salute. Welcome aboard, Harry Denson from Missouri City. Thank you for being here, my brother, and thank you for writing in the chat, keeping the chat active as well. Good job. Anyway, before I go to the phones, Lee, I want to point out something, and I've been following this story out of the country, but I haven't seen it in the country. In New York, a Chilean, or exposed quite a bit in the country, a Chilean woman, ICE just kind of went and picked up off the streets and locked her up for I don't remember. I'm looking at the story and I'm reading the story. It was covered at CNN Espanol, CNN Chile, because she's a Chilean. So the story with all the videos are in CNN Chile. And I'm reading it in Spanish and it's just blowing my mind. And this is one of the reasons you speak about how evil ICE is and etc. And I'm looking at this story, and this woman is here legally, and she's just roughed up by ICE and thrown to the curb, etc., being arrested. I've heard from several sources that all those northern states that were very dependent on business from Canadians coming into the United States, all those places are now empty. Many of the European countries that normally support Florida and other places in the United States visiting, they are not going to the United States anymore. So Trump is not only a clear and present danger to American security, but he's also a clear and present danger to the economies of people dependent on tourism. Before I go to the phones, what's your thoughts on that, Neil?
Right. So this was this the one, a 12-year-old daughter?
Yeah, she has a 12-year-old daughter, yes.
Had a 12-year-old daughter, and they took her, and this was in Times Square, right? I mean, so,
Yes.
and they left the daughter alone. Um, um,
Just
I mean,
evil, sheer evil.
this is just what I was getting at with HPD's cooperation with ICE. There are no checks. There are no checks on this at all, and it's expanding. It's expanding for citizens, non-citizens, documented, undocumented. And before we go to the phones, I just want to make my own pitch for the show. What you see here is really what you're getting with Egberto and politics done right. Egberto and I always we have a little pre-show talk, and we talk about what's going to be on. If I have a fact or something that Egberto wants me to confirm, he'll ask me for the source. He'll make sure that I have it right. There's always talk about the show could go wherever the callers take it. Always a deference to the people who do it. You see how independent media and all sorts of independent cultural institutions are being pressed, attacked, threatened by the current administration. This is a really important source for a forum for Houstonians and people also from elsewhere, and we're happy. Egberto does so much programming about all sorts of issues. So whether you're local or nearby or somewhere more distant, this is a relevant program. KPFT has been on, what is it, 50 years?
55
And
years, yeah.
55 years. It's a tremendous resource. And Egberto, so I asked, again, no one but the station and the one employee who does great work keeping the station on the air sees any of this money. It all goes to the station. So I encourage you. And Egberto is the real deal, factual, accurate, kind, and he brought me on Thursdays so that we could talk specifically about local politics. And there's not nearly enough local discussion here.
Thank you so kindly for that, Neil. Thank you so kindly for that. And please give us a call at 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or go to kpft.org. We still haven't gotten, we're over at half the show right now, and we still haven't gotten a call, a contribution. I ask you so kindly to do so. Help us stay on air. This is real important information that we talk about. Let's go ahead and go to Bard. Come on in, Bard.
Yes, good morning, sir. I was wondering why you keep covering for, quote, the Honorable Lena Hidalgo. Did Rodney Ellis offer you a position with them or something as a spokesman, or what? Why do you keep covering them?
I really cover them because I'm very proud of this young woman who above and beyond being lied about, above and beyond bringing progressive values to a position that many a times was just a good old boy network. A woman that is young, the age of my daughter, and is really doing well for the city, bringing the compassion that's needed, along with the intellect that is needed, along with the budgetary wise that is needed. I'm proud of the young woman.
Okay, well,
And
why can't the sheriffs get a raise if the lady that leads Harris County Flood Control got a $90,000 raise this year?
all
Just
right,
this year, $90,000.
yeah,
Now
you're
making
correct.
$420,000.
Let me
I know you're
just
going to
point.
jump on me, but go ahead.
No, I'm not going to, because that particular one that you're talking about is correct. All executives in any department, including under our current mayor, under the President of the United States. I mean, I am for paying people what they're worth. I'm for paying
President
people.
doesn't even make that much.
Hey,
The President of the United States does not make $420,000. He
hey,
makes
Bart,
$250,000.
Bart. The way we speak on this show is you speak, the audience listens. I speak, you be quiet and listen, and that's how we have a conversation that everybody can understand. I know exactly whenever I listen to Bard, I know what to expect. Now, here's the deal: you may not like our the judge or commissioner. That's your choice. I speak factually of what she represents. You can choose not to accept that. But again, anything else you want to talk about other than the
Yeah,
judge right now?
talk, I'd like you to talk about the honorable $11 million that she gave to Elevate Strategies. If you want to look up that company, I know
I am
you're
very aware
covered.
of that. I am aware of that as well.
But
I'm very aware
our
of that.
our tax dollars are,
Yeah.
so our tax dollars, mine
Yes.
and yours.
Correct.
Why is that
Let,
okay for you to waste that?
I don't have a problem. Put it this way: I don't have it. Like I said, Commissioner's Court has always been for a very long time a good old boy network. That when she is awarding or when they are awarding contracts, that they give a little company. Finally, I'm all for it. But anyway, I got to go to Johnny.
Matter of
Bart.
fact, it
let me
Oh,
was for
add.
Hillary Clinton.
thank you, Bart. You
Let
have a
Hillary
wonderful.
Clinton.
Go ahead, Neil. Neil, go
let me
ahead.
add. Let me
Yeah,
add.
go ahead.
Bart started off asking if Rodney Ellis. We had a job with Rodney Ellis. Rodney Ellis. In fact, this show we've criticized Rodney Ellis. That's one reason folks should contribute. We are not. We contribute. We've criticized Rodney Ellis for having $6.4 million in campaign funds and not using it to increase turnout in Harris County. And we take on everyone here. And Commissioner Ellis, with your 6.4 million, you could fund politics done right. We'll take the donation if you're listening. But the idea that we're on someone's payroll is far from the case.
Thank you for that, Neil. It's funny, right? Because we are equal opportunity
Right,
offenders,
we
whether
really are.
it's
Right, and
whether it's
rest his soul.
Democrats or go ahead.
And now they switched to Rodney. Before rest his soul, Mayor Turner, we were frequently critical of Mayor Turner, and you'd get call out, "Oh, why are you doing Mayor Turner's work?" And I doubt that's how Mayor Turner or Commissioner Ellis see it.
It is funny. They don't understand that even people from some of these people's office would call and try to get us to soften, of which we don't. Johnny, come on in. John, in a minute, Johnny will be in with us, but let's go ahead and get as soon as they can bring Johnny into the conversation. Come on in, brother Johnny. Come on in.
You got it. Soundboard sound. You guys are hot. So am I. I'm hot under the collar. Both Mr. Breitbart and his friend Brain, they both suffer from convenient amnesia. They like to point out what they believe to be factual facts, but in fact, the presidential salary used to be $200,000 or $210,000 a year. It was doubled not too long ago, and in fact, regardless of whether the president's salary is set at $400-something thousand a year, that doesn't apply to Donald. Donald, a Republican, he made off with more than $1.6 billion as in boy dollars after his first 4 years in the White House. And when you do the math, Mr. Breitbart, you realize that $1.6 billion is equal to 1,000 times the amount of presidential salary. How's that? That's interesting. Your boy promised the American people on the campaign trail that he was wealthy and he did not require a presidential salary, that he would work for free. Work. That's funny. He would work, and he would do it for free. But he made off with more than 1.6. Where did that money come from? How did he do it? It's called squirreling away state secrets in boxes and pretending you don't have it. And if you have a membership to Mar-a-Lago Swim Club, you can go there with your cell phone camera and photograph to your heart's content. You get your panties in a nut about the wrong thing. You bark up the wrong tree. You and Brian, you guys bark up the wrong tree. But that's not why I called. Every time I hear about police and fire wanting a raise, it's not just in Houston. You guys are right. This is a problem across the country. You know what comes to my mind every time I hear that? While teachers suffer, I think about those cops who stood up and turned their back on the newly elected New York City mayor. I think about that. I think about their union representatives and other cops representatives across the country who are so childish and demanding and surly. You guys need to understand something. You guys are supposed to be servants, public servants. Granted, you put your lives on the line theoretically, but not lately. I think about the guy who stood his knee on the neck of a black man on the street, killing someone like a dog near the tire of his squad car. I think about a guy whose money was being lifted out of his pockets while he was being beat up next to a cyclone fence by another cop in, was it Chicago or some city up north. I think about all these offenses, and you guys keep voting for the people on the right who make austerity something that's a reality. You can't have it both ways. You can't vote right wing and then cry and complain and fill your diapers with poo when there's no money available for anything.
Johnny.
Go pound sand. Go
Thank you,
pound
Johnny.
sand.
Brother Johnny, we're in fun drive, Johnny, so I have to cut you a bit, but thank you so kindly for your words. I want to point out very importantly that I am for paying people what they're worth. I want well-paid police officers. I want well-paid firemen, but I also want well-paid garbage collectors and well-paid everybody else as well. Okay,
And what you
we
wish,
want.
what you
Go
wish
ahead.
that their union, they should be well paid. And what you wish though is that their unions would act in solidarity with others. So the Politico reported last year that the Houston Firefighters Union had a hand in the International Firefighters Union offering no endorsement. They were about to endorse Harris. That the Houston firefighters, you wish that they would be partners in helping the city get more revenue with their legislative allies in Austin, and you wish they would act in greater solidarity with labor, other labor and workers, and they don't.
I am with you, my brother. You're right. Adam W says it's got to be difficult having Abbott as governor. Pennsylvania is really about to feel the pain since it's turned more red than purple, once being a blue state, but your governor is a sociopath. Yes, he is, but at least in Pennsylvania, you still have a governor that cares, that your Democratic governor is doing a good job. I'm going to go to Michelle, and then I have to go do a little pitching and then a return. Let's go to Michelle. Michelle, come on in. Or Michael, I don't know which one it is.
Hello.
Yes, you're on, Michael.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm a first-time caller. I also go by G Beard. Now, I've been a long-time listener of your show, and I do contribute. And I've contributed twice in the past 2 months. I might even contribute a third time. And I have a challenge to all the people who work from home. All the people who work from home that are saving that precious gas money they can chip into the station. But I want to go over some salaries. Somebody was talking salaries. Katy ISD has a football coach, Gary Joseph. He makes over $140,000 a year, baseline, okay? Baseline. We got other high school football coaches in Dickerson High School, $154,000 base salary from 2023. Barbers High School, and this is all in the Houston area, $179,917.57 payroll. That's the name of a few. You got Thompson High School, you got Katy High School, you got Atascocita High School, over $150,000. Give me a break, people. Give me a break. And I don't have any children, and I have to pay for these salaries. So, but I'm going to get off my soapbox and challenge all those people who work from home who listen to this beautiful station. We have a beautiful station here. They need to contribute. They need to step up to the plate. Thank you, Alberto, for all you do. I'm sometimes a hard dude to please, but hey, I got to stick it to you sometimes.
No, Michael, let me tell you first of all, not a problem. I love when you do it. I love people to challenge. That's why this is an open forum. Thank you so kindly for being a supporter at KPFT. And if you're saying you're doing a third time, remember, I'm at zero right now. I'm looking for my first
Yeah,
contribution.
here's a good moment,
So,
right?
so please, folks, listen to Brother Michael, also G Beard, and let's go ahead and get busy, please, and support a program that belongs to you. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, G. Okay, take care, brother. Peace. All right, let's go to Elise. Elise, bring that beautiful voice. Maybe you can do it for us, Elise.
No pressure, no pressure. I'm with Michael. Maybe we should be soliciting high school football coaches to support this station. They sound a little flush right now. I love that challenge. If you work from home and you're saving some gas money, maybe put a little in our tank. We are definitely looking for your support this morning. We don't have anyone to thank yet. We're going to stay positive and know that that's going to change because you're here. You're here for this radio station. You're here for this programming, this amazing content, this platform that we're only allowed to stay open and bring you because of your financial support. Michael said it. Man, this station deserves to be supported. And a lot of things have changed since the 70s when we came on the air March 1st, 1970. A lot has changed. But one thing that has not changed is KPFT is still here for the Houston community, still here to talk about the politics and the local news and information that impacts you and matters the most. And if that's something that you're here for, maybe you just found us, or maybe you've been here for years, we need to hear from you at 713-526-5738, option 1, kpft.org. Those are the best two ways for you to get your financial support to us. When you do it at the $5 a month level, you can even select a thank you gift. If you'd like to go see Tom Hartman and Grant Peoples, they're going to be live together with KPFT as a fundraiser for us coming up on Saturday, August 9th at Emerson Unitarian Church. That's a $60 ticket, and it's going to be a night with music, with maybe a talk, a Q&A with Tom Hartman and Grant Peoples. Mark your calendar for Saturday, August 9th, and make plans to be with us. $5 a month gets you a ticket to that event. And then your $60 donation to this station turns into a $110 donation because we get the extra $50 from our anonymous donor. If you can do that for us at a $5, can you do it at a $10 a month level? You'll help carry us over and to our goal of $170,000 to stay commercial free and independent. 713-526-5738, option 1. We would love to hear from you now at kpft.org. Back to you, Egberto.
Thank you so kindly, Elise. I want to give a shout out to Richard Brown from Louisiana with exclamation. Thank you for being here, Richard Brown. Anyway, folks, we're still waiting, as Elise said, for our first donation. Por favor, llámenos. Please give us a call at 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or go to kpft.org. We cannot do this without you. I Let me go ahead and go to Augie. Come on in, Augie. I have to restrict the calls to about a minute because we have a lot of calls and we still have some pitching to do. So Augie, come on in, line number 1.
Thanks, Umberto. I wonder if Barton didn't hear about the airplane, multi-million-dollar airplane that Trump asked Qatar for. It wasn't a gift. He asked them for it, and they gave it to him. And it's going to cost us millions of dollars to fix the plane, but he says he's not going to use it. It's more than his $200,000 salary, and plus all the other stuff he's doing, like the cryptocurrency. Lena Hidalgo's not asking for a plane or cryptocurrency or any other fundraising things on top of her salary. And going on the feeder road on I-10 between Bunker Hill and Blaylock, and there's an HPD car where there's red and blue lights going on, but no siren. But right behind them, there's about 6 other civilian cars, and no markings on them. And all of a sudden, the cop made a quick right turn, and there's some businesses in the back, and then they made a quick U-turn in the driveway. Those 6 cars or more, all of a sudden, turn on their taillights, and there's red and blue lights. They had no siren either. So they made that turn right behind that HPD car. And I don't know what kind of businesses they were raiding, But there was an ICE raid, and I was on my way to go to the store, and I saw all this happen. I couldn't believe it was happening in front of my eyes. And that's what we're getting around here. Raids going on, and people being hauled off, and nobody hearing about it. I don't remember hearing anything about it on TV about that one raid. And also, I was trying to donate, hit option one, but there's a recording comes on saying no one's available. But I just thought I'd let you know about what's going on. Well, thanks, Egberto.
Yes. Uh, all right, let's see. Hello, hello. Yes. So we're having some technical problems here, here at the station, but this is Politics Done Right, and it's the Houston Democracy Project Hour, where we talk about local politics. And we had yesterday. We talked about the city budget proceedings. We have a $7 billion budget that was a source of great contention, a big source of. There's $300 million that is coming in actually from the Trump administration, if you can believe it, for disaster remediation. And this was discussed in council committee. The money was originally given by the Biden administration in its last weeks to the city for disaster money. And so the Trump folks came in, and there was concern that they were going to pull the money, but actually they didn't pull the money. So Mayor Whitmire's folks have been talking to the Trump administration, and they're very specific on how you can spend the money. So there's $300 million. None of it is going to housing or some of the very identified as disaster relief necessities. Okay, I'm afraid. And the, and okay, sorry. All right. So this is a big discussion, and it's interesting because we're asking: with Trumpism, is all the money stopping? Are municipalities and cities still seeing the money? So the city is supposed to get $300 million, $300 million in disaster relief money. It has to be done on terms that the Trump administration likes. And so this Mayor Whitmire, they've been trying to work that out. But then also, we are reimbursed for the money after we spend it. So we spend the money. The city of Houston spends the money, and then the Trump administration reimburses it. So when we've been talking about one of the themes that we've been talking about when we talked about Sean Tier, the district attorney, calling out the current political situation. The one way that the Trump folks seem to be able to make sure that people are quiet is that they hold all of this leverage of money over municipalities. So that has been a discussion in Houston City Council this week, and that's on top of the budget decisions. And so this is Politics Done Right, and we're having a bit of a technical glitch. So I am filling in essence. Egberto's right there watching me on the screen. Yeah. And we're in the middle of a pledge drive. And one thing that the pledge drive does, it makes sure that the whole technical house and all the wiring and everything is in order. And your pledge to KPFT to specifically Politics Done Right Egberto Willies helps make sure that the technical setup is all there and that we don't have glitches
Hey,
just like
Elise,
this. And so this is
Egberto
the
dropped
Houston
out.
Democracy Project
Can't
Hour. We
get him
talk
back.
about on
Help
Thursdays every
just pitch
at
at the
7. We
end. I'm
talk
going to
about
make you
local
hot,
6.
and I'll
We talk
probably
about
just
local
start Democracy Now!
politics.
early. So
And
go ahead and help.
yesterday at yesterday's budget hearing, there
Go
were a
hot,
number of
Elise.
neighborhood protesters, groups. Pure Justice, the neighborhood West Street Recovery was there. Northeast Action Collective was there. They were very rambunctious throughout the entire hearing. Mayor Whitmire, for all of his arbitrary characteristics, Mayor Whitmire actually is slow to throw people out and slow to have folks removed from the council chamber. He's actually better than Mayor Turner on that. But as you're seeing, your Houston. No, I'm sorry, Egberto. No. Egberto is. I'm. If you're listening on the radio, Egberto and I also. This is on you. There's a video feed also for Politics Done Right. So Egberto is intermittently asking, is he audible to me? And so far he's not. Local involvement in local politics is really significant. There are so few people who do get involved that if you get involved, you can have a disproportionate weight. You can be heard. If you watch city council meetings, they will talk about, I got 10 emails, I got 15 emails, I got 20 emails. Small amounts of people can make a substantial difference. Houston City Council, and just imagine if you live in a smaller municipality, everyone really does have a voice, and the way that you can have a voice at KPFT is with a contribution. We're in our pledge drive. We haven't, as of yet today, received any donations. We're $40,000 short of the
Can I be heard yet?
$170,000. Are you there, Egberto?
I hope I'm there. I'm using
Oh, there you go. Okay. Okay.
the
Was I?
sound.
Was I?
You did a great job. I could hear you guys, but you guys are doing great. Sorry about the problem. Let me throw it to Elise to do a quick pitch, and then we'll go
Okay.
back and talk to the folks. We had some severe audio problems here, but thank you so kindly, Neil. You saved the day.
Okay. Thank you.
It's
Thank you,
Elise
Neil.
around.
Thank you, Egberto. I know it's happening today. We're having some issues, and we did find out that we're having some issues on the phone as well. So if you would like to make your pledge of support to this show and to KPFT, go online to kpft.org. Click the donate button, and that is a secure, easy way for you to quickly make your pledge of support to Politics Done Right and this radio station. Help us stay commercial free. Help us continue to provide this important platform for ideas, for suggestions, for news, for information, locally, statewide, nationwide, and globally. We depend on KPFT to provide this type of programming. It's so vital. It's going away. As you look around, it's just not here anymore. We're still here, and we're here because of your financial support. 713-526-5738, option 1. If that's not working, go to kpft.org and make your financial pledge of support to this radio station.
Thank you so kindly, Elise, and thank you, Augie, for letting us know that it wasn't working. And I want to give Augie a big thank you for being the first person to donate this morning. And secondly, I want to give Margaret K. Margaret K. Thank you so kindly for your donation. We could not
Okay,
do this
great.
without you. So we have 2 donations. We are about $375 now away from our goal. I know that we can do it. We're having technical problems. Hey, we put the strings and nails and all those things together. I want to thank Neil for covering when the audio problems went south on us. I
Okay,
don't
I'm
know.
sorry if I was slow on the uptake. Were you gesturing at me for a minute before I
I
started
was
talking?
gesturing to you to say, please take
Oh,
over,
okay.
my brother. But anyway,
Okay.
look,
Well, I
I,
finally. It took me a
you
while.
finally got
It
it.
took me a minute.
No
Okay.
problem. Look, but we have a wonderful audience. You are a wonderful person, Elise, Jack. When you have teamwork, no matter what happens, stuff happens. Look, I got to go to the phones. Guys, I have to restrict it to exactly 1 minute. So I'm sorry, but we kind of have some issues here. Beforehand, though, we have to do a station ID. This is KPFT, Houston, at the top of the hour. We'll go about 10 minutes over to try to get some of you to call in now to support the program. 1 minute. Brother Jimmy, come on in. Oh, Betty, come on in, Betty. Come on in, Betty.
Okay, I'll be short. Hopefully, on Bart and Brian, it's no hang up on you. It's a Johnny Carson. He did not argue. He did his Johnny Carson. It was effective. And I am a rollover, and I'm also a one time drop 2 or 3 times a year. I am German and Bohonk. I am an old lady, but still a Zydeco girl due to Alberto 90.1 and Bon Time Rolling. Love y'all.
Love you too, Betty. You stay beautiful. And Marge K just said, I just gave $25 online. Come on, people, let's help Egberto. You are so sweet, Marge. I appreciate that. And please remember, folks, when you're calling here to KPFT or donating, all of that is going to KPFT to keep this public station alive. All right, let's go to Jimmy. Come on in, Jimmy. 1 minute.
Center for Constitutional Rights and get an update on Mahmoud Khalil.
Oh, what happened? What happened? Jimmy,
the
come on
United States has once again vetoed a UN Security Council
resolution.
Let's get Jimmy in. We're supposed to be going about 10 minutes over to try to get this up. So let's get Jimmy in. Come on in, Jimmy. All kind of technical problems today. Jimmy, you're on. 1 minute, Jimmy. Okay, I don't hear Jimmy. Let's go to Brian. 1 minute, Brian. Brian, 1 minute. Okay, we have some issues.
Well, we have some issues, but let's say that we stay good-natured. We have our glitches, and you don't want to have it during a pledge week. But the show stays friendly, and we continue to solicit your pledge here at KPFT.
Absolutely. So, let me tell you something, Neil. It doesn't. We're a community radio station with a very high-powered 100,000 watt transmitter. So we have deep penetration throughout this area, and we get the job done. So I want to ask everybody. I tell you what. Let me ask Elise to come in for the last pitch, and then we'll close this baby out. Elise.
Thank you. Yes. We thank everyone who has persevered with us this morning and, throughout all of the ups and downs that we all face. I mean, this is live radio. This is real people. We're not AI. We're not pre-recorded. We are local, live, and here for you. And sometimes that means we do have technical issues and things happen. But we don't let those types of challenges stand in our way. We persevere. We overcome. And together, we can do that. I found out that our phone line isn't doing a great job. Right now, it sounds like with callers and with taking pledges. So what we can do together is just keep on trying. And if you can't get through on that phone line, please, when you have a moment, if you can get to a safe spot to pull over or be in front of your computer, if you're not driving and listening on your radio, go to kpft.org. It takes just a moment or two to click the donate button, and you can quickly assign the dollar amount that works best for you, whether that's a one-time donation or like Michael in Houston, who this morning, right before 7 o'clock, made a very nice donation and did it on a monthly sustaining basis. That means Michael's donation of $150 actually becomes $200. That is the best way for us to know that we can count on your support each and every month. And when we have enough monthly supporters, we'll be able to shorten these on-air pledge drives. We may even be able to drop one altogether. And that's very doable. We need your support to make that happen right now. Go online at kpft.org, click that donate button, and make your pledge of support to help us reach our goal of $170,000 for our spring membership drive. And when you do it now, that definitely means that your donation, your financial support is going to Egberto and Politics Done Right. Thank you guys so much this morning. Thank you to Neil. Thank you to Egberto for
Thank you.
hanging out and sticking around. We've overcome a lot this morning, and we're still chugging along.
We are chugging along, folks. We're going to end with a few more pitches. Let me throw it to Brother Neil, and then I'll close this baby out with one last pitch. Neil, your thoughts?
Great. And so my HoustonDemocracyProject.com, there's a blog, Houston Democracy Project. I encourage you to find a June 14th protest near you. I think that's going to be a big deal. And you can contribute to KPFT, to Egberto specifically throughout the day. You can go online and specifically drag it down to Egberto's contribution. If you tried to call today and there was a glitch with the phone, or you're in your car, you can all day contribute to Politics Done Right, Egberto Willies, with an online contribution. Make sure you specify it's for Politics Done Right.
Thank you so kindly for that, Neil. And don't forget, folks, we have to keep this thing going. Sorry for the technical problems that we've had today. But we try our best, and we do, as Elise said, we do it in a good natured manner. We're all fallible. So give us a call, 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or go to kpft.org. I'm going to take Richard, 30 seconds, Richard. I hate leaving anybody hanging. Richard, 30 seconds.
Yes, I'm calling in to cancel 5 of my $15 a month contributions that I put in for a couple of years now, and for years before that, I've supported KPFT and even gone down and helped the station over in Montrose. But this taking away time from Democracy Now! I just can't deal with that. I'm sorry. But I want to have that $75 a month taken off of my removed.
Okay, sir, do you know why this, before you go, Richard, I just want to ask you this. Do you know why this is done? Do you think we do this just for the sake of doing it, or do you think we do it because we're trying to raise money and maybe?
Well, I actually got an email. I actually got an email from Sandy Wyman saying that he thought that he did not believe in the way that Democracy Now! Was acting, and that they were putting out things that were not substantiated. And I have
Richard, can I let me just speak to you on that issue, right? So everybody has a right to their opinion, including yourself. You like Democracy Now! I like Democracy Now! I don't know if Sandy necessarily thinks completely about it, but we are bringing that to you. This is your station, okay? All of us are not going to be in agreement all of the times. This is your station. The only reason that I stay on a few minutes longer is because we need to raise money for the station so that you can also hear Democracy Now! When we're not in fund drive mode. So what I ask you kindly, and very kindly, my brother, is to reconsider and understand what we're doing here from a fund drive, from a fundraising point of view. It's not anything punitive. Democracy Now! Is a part of KPFT. Democracy Now! Will be always on KPFT. Whether I like it, whether Sandy like it or not, these things are going to be here for us. So I ask you, my brother, to reconsider that, and have a conversation with Sandy as well. You support the program, and there's a reason you support the program. You are a part of the family. It's not a punitive thing. You have agency here. All right, brother?
Yeah, okay. I've heard it.
Thank you, man. We'll talk later, Richard. I really appreciate you, sir. All right. Look, let me just say this, folks. I want folks to understand. None of us here want to be fund driven, and I don't want to be stepping on Democracy Now!'s time. I am appreciative that Sandy is actually trying to raise money for the station, and if one particular program isn't at that time capturing and another program is, for the sake of all the programs, and I mentioned this, for the sake of all the programs, we go where we can get folks to contribute so that all of us can get the job done. So, Richard, I respect your thoughts, and please reconsider, my brother. Anyway, Neil, give me a closer, and we got to shut this baby down to bring on democracy now.
Great. I encourage everyone to be active locally. Small numbers of people can make a big difference. I'm at HoustonDemocracyProject.com. I appreciate your forbearance. If you're a Democracy Now! Listener, the program is important, and it's important that Politics Done Right and KPFT have the reasons to broadcast it. If we're not here, this is the local platform for it.
Thank you so kindly, Neil. Folks, we're going to be going off in about 35, 40 seconds. Please, you can still contribute to Politics Done Right by going to kpft.org, hit that donate button, scroll down to Politics Done Right, and donate in the name of Politics Done Right. We had some problems earlier, likely missed quite a few donations on the telephone. But again, you can keep trying there as well, 713-526-573. I want to thank Jack for his impeccable work in the studio. I want to thank Elise for the great pitching for us. I want to thank Neil for covering when our sound system went down. We are loaded with good people. Sandy, keep up the good work. Folks, we got to get out of here. Love you all. My name is Egberto Willis. This is Politics Done Right. And you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out.
We now join Democracy Now! In progress.
Colleges and universities by nearly 90%, a move that would likely force most or all of the nation's $37 trillion